has lost his case against the UK. His grievance, yes, the grievance. He decided that he was going to go to the ECHR, which is a bit ironic considering that he actually said that we should leave the ECHR. Well, they've said that his case against him has been chucked out. Yes, Owen Paterson lost. Well, that'll teach him, since he is a disgraced politician that he is. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, who cares? Well, I don't. No. But, yeah, it just feels a little bit, how to put it, ironic. Yeah, there we go. So the former cabinet minister's challenge to a parliamentary probe that found he broke lobbying rules has been dismissed by the European rights judges. This man made speeches. He did. If they've been made speeches about this, as in we should come out the ECHR, because it's mad that our own courts and what have you even say that we cannot stop people coming from France because France is apparently not a safe country, etc., etc. There was a load of bollocks, because that's what he does. There we go. Let's bring that up in here so we can have a look at the chat. Anyway, I'm having a bit of a clear up as I talk to you. I thought, hang on, why not go live while I'm having a bit of clear up in my wood shop here in France. And I just think everything's just gone absolutely crazy. Now, to give you an idea what I'm up against, I just finished a project, okay? Because, yes, I do woodworking as well as all this sort of politics like. Look at that state of my flipping floor, all right? Yeah, I know, everything is array. Everything. The saws, the bandsaws, my planers, everything is array. So I thought, let's have a chat while I'm doing it. So I hope everybody is well. And yeah, I suppose the first thing I need to do while I'm talking to you is actually start putting some of the gear away, I suppose. But yeah, this just made me tickle, it did. It really did. I just heard James O'Brien on LBC Radio mention it as well. And it came in my feed this morning, but I thought it was quite hilarious. So a legal challenge was launched by Owen Paterson. Maybe there's all the lobbying and what have you, and pocketing the money in it, He says the ex-Tory MP argued the inquiry was procedurally flawed and had breached his human rights. He don't mind taking human rights away from other people, right? But his human rights are more important. You know how it goes. But this has now been thrown out of the European Court of Human Rights. In its ruling, the court said that the investigation had been conducted properly and was necessary to uphold the Parliament's internal rules. Parliamentary rules. Oh my God, but Keir Starmer though in that dress. Parliamentary rules and all that. All about the money after his glass. Oh crikey, blimey, his lunettes, his glasses. Yeah, we want him to be able to see, don't we? I don't think it matters as long as I ain't got a problem with people making donations and stuff like that. Anyway, the whole party's funded on donations, so I don't mind that as long as they're open and honest about it. And the thing about it is, he's getting all this criticism, Keir Starmer. I'm no fan of Keir Starmer, you probably already know, but he's getting all this criticism on the basis of being honest, because he came, he's the one who made the announcement. He wasn't found out. He actually came clean. And then he gets all this criticism. You've got to get rid of Keir Starmer. We need to replace him. We need a new leader. Yeah, sack him now. For Christ's sake, he's only been in there a couple of months. Oh, blimey. Don't get me wrong, I think he's boring. That's one thing you could say about Boris Johnson. He wasn't boring. Although he was very, very corrupt. He also was friends with naughty Russian people. Lebanon and all that, and various others, and his father. That's all right, apparently. No one said anything at the time of all the scandal. Yeah, we might have done, but his supporters didn't. Oh, whatever. It's only this. It's only that. It was only a party. That's all it was. He had cake. He had. So it's Boris Johnson, all their friends all partying, boogieing and all that, no social distancing whatsoever during the pandemic. And then Keir Starmer, apparently, he had a curry. And he wasn't found guilty, unlike Boris Johnson, who was found guilty. Oh, how about fines they've had? Him and Richie Sunak and others all have these fines and stuff during the pandemic. But that's okay. It's Boris Johnson, because we like Boris Johnson. He is funny. He has fluffy hair, they said. Oh, people are crazy. The world's gone absolutely bonkers. It's like Donald Trump. What, really? Why is it that people actually like Donald Trump? Is it because he's just telling them what they want to hear? Huh? He's talking about literally scooping them all up, even legal migrants, and expelling them out of the country. That's what he's been saying recently, Donald Trump. Flippin' hell. And that's okay, is it? Okay, no. It's like, we tried the so-called illegal migrants. No, we failed on them. And it's just like in the UK as well. And they were saying, oh, I know, we have a new target. Yeah, we can, let's attack the legal ones. The ones who come over illegally and got their visas and what have you, or going through the process. Send all them back as well, why don't you? Oh, crikey. Like I say, the world has gone absolute. Just try to get the old glue off there. There you go, that's done it. It's my glue spreader. Yes, it's a wallpaper joint roller. And I wrap it around with a bit of tape, you see, and then I'll use that for spreading my glue. Worked brilliantly. In that drawer you go. Up there you go. Oh, dear me. I think it's painful sometimes. I really do. Oh, that's charging. It just makes me wonder what's going on in people's flipping minds. Why do they follow these people? Why? Oh, I don't know. I feel we're lost. And then you got Brexit. Crikey. Flippin' hell, don't get me on Brexit. Oh, crikey, I just said it, didn't I? Yeah, Brexit. It's destroyed the UK. It really has. If anyone's going to break the UK up, it's going to be Brexit. It's madness. Absolute madness. Fucking 300 and... Oh, did I swear? I think I might have done. 311 billion by 2030, something or other. They reckon it's cost the UK. It's probably going to be more than that, because it seems to be exponential. It's just the losses of trade and our inability is doing that. What is going to happen in 2025 when we lose our equivalence regarding the banking sector? At the moment, the banking sector, the finance sector in the UK is actually doing okay, but they would have done okay anyway inside the EU. If anything, might have done even better. But no, the Brexiters will say, well, look at the financial sector, that's doing well, isn't it? That's got nothing to do with leaving the European Union. But you know how it is. These people, they do like to sort of catch on the pearls and all that. Pearls. Oh, I don't know where they call it. What's that? What is that saying? Oh dear. I don't know. Crazy. It's madness, is what it is. Absolute flipping madness. I do find it very frustrating. I have to admit, the level of idiocy that people seem to buy into and are happy to do just that. Anyway, who we got here? Oh, let's have a look. Oh, look on the computer because it's easier. The letters are bigger. Hello, Hans Dumke, I hope you're well. Yeah, and the missus came back yesterday. I picked her up from the airport. I just wondered whether I should bother or not, but I did. So Caroline's back, and she's busy at the minute. At the moment, she's jarring up tomatoes at the moment because a whopping great load of tomatoes have got to be jarred up. So canning we call it in France. So she's going to be canning all these tomatoes, and then we've got a tree full of peaches, which need to be prepped up. Some of them will be going in syrup into jars as well, but also some of them will be going into the dryer. Oh, crikey. Dried peaches, they're like sweets, they are. Oh, they're so good. Oh. The only thing is you've got Stonewall, which is, that ain't so great. Hello, Skull Crusher. Hello to you. And Michael O. Jackson, hello. When will you make a what? A shy lie? What's that? What's a shy lie? I need to know what that is first before I can actually comment, just in case it's something cheeky. I just finished a project. I've done a pallet project. I made a cabinet, a bathroom cabinet, which is between two walls. And do you know what? I don't know why I hadn't bothered with pallets before. I made bird boxes and stuff, lots of bird boxes out of old pallets. But the an actual bathroom cabinet. I took the existing mirror off and made it into a mirror door for the cabinet. It looks really good. I done it in like a lime wash finish. I'm really actually quite chuffed with it. A flipping pallet project. But then again, it's the only pallet project that's got actual joints. So there you go. I don't do pocket screws. Well, what is a shylight? What is it? Oh, it's a wooden walking stick. How come I didn't know that? A walking stick and club. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I use that on the Brexiters. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? Blimey. It's quite nice having the missus back in many ways. Actually, to be fair, it's the best night's sleep I had for a while. I think it's the snoring. It's sort of like therapeutic. So do Willy Bra like a Willy Bra? What's the word? Oh, maybe sometimes. Hello, David Draga, hope you're well. And Vertico, the banking sector is doing well now because they're still managing our money and EU. Oh, crikey, yeah, what happens when Euro clearing leaves the UK? Was that 3 trillion a day goes through there? It's a huge amount of money. I think it's something like 3 trillion a day. And obviously the UK gets a bit of that, you see. Yeah, it's only water. So yeah, that is going to be quite costly. And then obviously the equivalents and what have you. So the fact we can still trade our banking in the EU still just shrunk down somewhat. There was a court case actually that was in Luxembourg courts regarding the EU taking the UK to court over some non-compliance regarding the banking sector earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week or last week, and the UK actually won on that one. So that's one up for the UK, I suppose. I'm enjoying your sense. Oh, cheers, Frayden. Frayden arrested injured. Yeah, I'm a bit nutty. I know. I can't help it. Life is too short, and I'm a bit. How to put it? I'm a bit up and down. I am. Some days I'm a bit sort of pumped up and what have you. And look at this mess around here. I'm not so pumped up, but yeah. And other days I get a bit low. But I have. Some people on the channel already know this, but I have fibromyalgia, and some days I get like a bit of anxiety and stuff, sort of like overwhelming, sort of like depression. And then I've learned how to manage it now, to be honest. I know what I have to do. You just remove yourself from the stress. That's what you got to do, basically, and then everything's tickety-boo again. So yeah, but I'm usually kind of a bit more bubbly and sort of I don't know. Everything's a joke. You know what I mean? It needs to be. And I spend a lot of time on my own. That might explain it. Right, let's put this machine away. Ooh. The festool. That's only one. Oh, actually, I've got 2 festools. I've got a pencil. It's quite a pricey machine, so this is one that does end up back in the box. They're at 12 quid, these are. Euros, it is. That was back then, actually. I don't know what they are now. I paid 1,200 for it. Get in there, you. Oh, we're going a lot easier than that. The cutters are like 60 euros each now. Crazy. It basically creates a mortise. So you can put these in, effectively. Little wooden, what they call dominoes. Again, I've never bought a festool domino because the handles just fell off. I never bought a festool, the consumables for them because they're just ridiculously expensive. And why don't you make them yourself in no time at all? It doesn't make any sense to me. And they're better as well because you make them out of the wood that you're using. So I'm putting it back into its home. I don't need that for the moment. I've got a massive clean up to do. It's going to take me all day. If I can get the tools away. It does make me wonder. It just makes me wonder what's going on in the world. And when people like Owen Patterson, it's just such hypocrisy, isn't it? It's just nuts. Who hears the nuts? Bird nest rat fest. Things can only get wetter. Did you say wetter? I know. Apparently you've got a lot of rain coming. There's Eastern Europe has got a lot of floods, might have in Poland and places like that. I think it's Poland. Anyway, Eastern Europe anyway. Proper screws. Brass. Solid brass screws. Like the olden days. Yeah. I still use brass. What have we got on this side? Remember now. What have we got over here? Oh, we've got some captive small brass screws. These are pan heads. More countersinks. I've got some cup inserts there, a whole load of those. And captives. And these are what we use boat building's kind of a background. And construction, to be fair. And basically, you've got one of those on one side, and that goes on the other side. And that is how, with the old aluminium windows in the boats into the superstructure, that's how we'd fix the windows into place with those. So it's neat on both sides, then, you see. Look at that. Okay, that's good. I'll go back to his house in a minute. So, yeah, it got me thinking a little bit when I saw something on line this morning. Because when you send up messages or you do anything online, we kind of think it's there. We don't think there's any cost to it, no environmental cost or anything like that. But there's massive. Did you realise for every 100 words you create on ChatGPT, right, it uses 3 litres of water for every 100 words? Now, don't get me wrong, the water doesn't go away. But that's how much water is passing through, I'm supposed to cool the servers and stuff like that. But 3 litres. Now, that's one of the reasons why some of these big, big server, what do they call them now? Data centres. Any data centres, I've got to be really careful where they put them. And there's one, I can't remember where it was now, but I was putting outside a town, and they're worried about the plans haven't been put there. The plans were it's going to be put outside this town, and it got opposed because of the effect it was going to have on the watercourse in the area and all the rivers and stuff. Because what happens is, the water goes through all these places, and it heats up through the data centre and back into the rivers and kills the fish. So they had to it was a Google data centre, that one was, and that was about 200 million or something for this data centre. And I was thinking about, okay, what about other costs as well? Obviously, every time you send texts, messages and stuff, like emails and stuff, they all come with a cost because you're using data centres. But then there's this data centre, which was the world's biggest supercomputer, is now being decommissioned in the next few weeks. And they're building a new one that's going to be up and running in 2028, apparently. But it's like, crikey, all this stuff that we keep consuming, and if we don't recycle, which comes at a cost as well, just because you're recycling, don't mean to say you've done anything positive. It's better than not recycling, but you're better not using it in the first place. And we kind of have to think about buying new mobile phones every year and all that sort of stuff at the end of the contracts. And even though your existing device might be perfectly okay. And actually, crikey, it's me holding the phone. It just seems a little bit crazy. Yeah, $200 million worth of supercomputer will be scrapped within weeks. The ORNL's summit could be a bargain for someone who has got very deep pockets. So if you're looking for a new supercomputer, it's still an extremely powerful machine. So I imagine it's built on a variety of different machines all working together, either four. But anyway, yeah, so they're building a new one there's going to be a new one being built in 2028, a new supercomputer. So all this stuff is energy, isn't it? It's all consumables, all the stuff that we're just discarding. And it's just like these electric cars and stuff like that. And although they're getting closer regarding, there's recycling centres now being built for recycling the batteries and stuff, but there's certain amount of stuff they can't recycle, isn't there? So we're still consuming. And half the time, there's stuff we don't even need. Like my old car, that was at 2000. My car's 2005. It's old. It still goes. Does what I need to do. Do I need a new car? Well, you could argue I do because I could do with a left-hand drive, really. but I don't do enough miles to warrant it, you know. And I'll do more environmental damage by replacing it than actually doing the few miles that I do to the shop, or occasionally to the airport. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, there has to, you know, for it to be just the kudos for having something that is electric isn't necessarily environmentally sound. You know, whether it be electric or whatever else is going to. Oh, that got me thinking as well. Actually, you know, in the EU, Tesla, their sales are plummeting. People aren't buying Teslas like they were before. Now, I think it's down to Elon Musk and his right-wing rhetoric. That's what I think. I think it's just the fact that he's annoying everybody. So, break the screen. Where is it? That one? That one? That's not that. I'm too far up now. Not that. European Court rejects Tory MP. I did that. Firm making drones. Oh, crikey, yes. Ukraine is, you know that obviously Ukraine has been developing their own drones and stuff, you know, to dump their little bombs on top of tanks. And they're actually looking to they've created an industry. Because they managed to build these drones, really low cost, very basic as well in the way they're put together, drones, which makes them cheap to produce. And they kind of lend themselves, I suppose, to these mainly surveillance drones and be able to, you know, and drop type drones. And they're long distance, so they're gliders basically. Well, powered gliders. They've got pusher props on them. They got up the sledge, and, you know, a bit like the old V1 bomb, you know. But the ones they've been building, they return back to home because obviously they can't afford to lose all their stuff, I suppose. Whereas the Iranian drones, they tend to just they're kamikaze drones. So they just fly long distance and then drop on the head. Some devastation they've caused. But the thing is that these things, they're small, aren't they? So they're not easy when they're that high up to shoot out of the flipping sky. You know, when you get all these like cruise missiles and stuff like that, these long-range missiles, they're travelling at speed, mind, but they're quite big. Where was it? Tesla. So Tesla's European sales have plummeted 36% in August. I think Elon Musk is annoying people somewhat, and especially the way he's been behaving towards the European Union as well, like he's been doing with Brazil. They did an update, and he said it was that wasn't deliberate, but they did an update that allowed them to circumvent Twitter and what have you in Brazil, because obviously Elon Musk got blocked, didn't he, with his Twitter. SpaceX got all the bank accounts for SpaceX in Brazil got frozen because he hadn't paid his fines. So they took the fine money out of him and then, released them. So it just makes you wonder, doesn't it, really, where we're heading with all this. If you just keep annoying people and you have, because at the end of the day, someone like Elon Musk with his so-called freedom of speech rhetoric, which is not about freedom of speech, it's about saying whatever you bloody well want and don't matter what sort of damage you cause, And these people just want to, people like Elon Musk, they just want to cause trouble. And he's getting a reaction, but from the same people, the same sort of people who support Donald Trump. And I can't believe for the life of me that someone like Elon Musk, who has got a brain, not a very nice one, but he's got a brain, a logical brain, and now he's going on about religion and all this sort of stuff. This is just about feeding a base. He's found his base that he thinks that Donald Trump could be the next president who's going to of the United States, who's going to release rules on taxation, low taxation, and stuff like that, and gives him a free ride to do whatever he wants to make it more likely he's going to be the next or the first trillionaire in 3 years. They said by 2020. Oh, not 3 years, 2 years. They said 2027. I think they said. So he's a horrible piece of work. He is, and anyone who disowns their own children ain't that great anyway, in my book. Hello, Misery Loves Co. Elon Musk. No, Elon Musk. It's the drugs Elon takes. Yeah, he's on ketamine. The ketamine? Not fentanyl. Ketamine. Yeah, he's on ketamine. So he admits to it. He says he takes it for depression or something. That's what happens when you disown your children and then start going around accusing them. Oh, it's a woke mind virus. He's getting interviewed on it now about the woke mind virus as though it's a real thing, you know. It's just ludicrous, you know. And he's really aiming at LGBTQ2 plus whatever it is, you know, the transgender community. It's you know, minority groups. I don't think hydrogen's the answer. And the reason why I say that is you're putting it in the hands of multinationals again, these big corporations like oil giants and stuff. I want to be in control of my field. I like the idea of electric because I can make electric. I can't make hydrogen. Well, I never tried. But yeah, so then they can get you on the taxation, they get you on all this flipping stuff. Whereas if you're producing your own electric with your solar panels and wind turbines and stuff and plugging it in yourself, because you know, if you don't even know, it's already got solar panels in the hair anyway. We're on about 70% efficiency on our solar. Here, so in my workshop here, it's all powered by solar. So it makes perfect sense to me. And I want to take the power away from corporations because I feel they're they're root of all evil. They are, yeah. Not all of them, obviously, but they're, as I say, all of them. But not all of them, I suppose, but most of them. It's all about money, isn't it? You know, it's about the bottom line. If that is your goal in life, well, then there's a problem. If it's about money and not about actually helping others or doing things for others, and you know, I think that's a big issue. You know, if we can't actually help people and help people get on in life, I think there's a problem. It can't be just about sending more money up there just so they can shove it in some bank account somewhere and basically eradicate the country of all wealth because it's all in their own back pockets or offshore bank accounts. That's not, you can't go on like that. And it's not about liberal elites and shit. That's just an excuse. Hello, Mad Monk. I didn't see you there, my friend. Let's put this on live chat. There we are, back on live chat. Are your solar panels reliable? Did you set them up and they worked smoothly ever since? No, they didn't. They were very easy to set up, but the first inverters I used were WP12000s. They were cheap Chinese inverters that we were using, and they were problematic. They really did not like lightning. And I fitted a to earth lightning thing in the box now. So that was a problem, and also they just seemed problematic from the start, and then they're not that easy to track the amount of power used. And so what I have done, I've installed a new inverter by Fronius, which is a proper thing. I actually bought it from the UK actually before Brexit. Anyway, and that one's really good because you can see directly from the little screen on there how much power it's producing at the time and what it's doing, how much over the week. You haven't got to go and get your laptop out and plug it in and do all that sort of shit, you know what I mean? So I can see easily and quickly without hassle or messing about. Because when you're covered in shit all the time, you don't necessarily want to be going and setting up laptops and stuff. So it's not ideal. So, yeah, no, the panels themselves are perfectly reliable. They're not an issue. Obviously, when there's no sun or the sun starts going down, you get less power. But we pretty much during the day, we're not having to do any drain on the grid at all. It's only in the evenings we're draining on the grid. So it works for us. We're not doing grid. We haven't got grid tie because we've got there's a diode in place. We can't actually put any into the grid. And if we did it as a buyback tariff, we wouldn't get enough to make it worthwhile, because our system is ground-based, and the tariff you get on the ground-based solar is very low. It's only about 17 cents per kilowatt hour. Unlike if it's in the roof, that is the tiles butt up against the panels, you'll get around, I think, I can't remember what it is now, I think it's around 28 to 30 cents per kilowatt. It's actually more than what you actually pay for the electric, which sounds strange, I know, but yeah, and if it's on the roof, it's a little bit less yet again. I think it's about 22 per kilowatt hour. But I don't want to fit it in my roof. I want to be able to say, okay, then these panels are old, I can easily swap them out. I want to be able to maintain them, I want to be able to wash them, you know what I mean? Whereas if you shove them on the, I'm not going to come on the big roof and start washing my blooming roof, am I? You know? Break your blooming neck. It's not ideal. No. The vicar, hello the vicar. Is there a standard charge on electricity and gas in France? Yes. Yes, it's different to the UK. You know, when you basically have one tariff for your electricity, for household electricity. Storm, cheers, buddy. For your electricity, here in France, they do it per how much the wattage. Oh, so the kilowatt hours that you consume. So you can have a 4 kilowatt hour. I think it's 4 kilowatt. Sorry, kilowatt hour. Sorry, 4 kilowatt supply, which means you can only draw up to 4 kilowatts. There's a lot of that around here for people like farmers who have electric fences and random fields and stuff like that. If they haven't got a small field with solar set up, then you got to 6 kilowatt, 9 kilowatt, and it goes up like that. And they basically you go when you phone them up because we had to increase ours. This was originally on 3 or 4 kilowatts, and I called them up, and you have to go through what have you got? You need this, you got that. You tell a few fibs. You know, you've got an electric shower. How did that work before they go? Stuff like that. So then they'll allow you the higher wattage, or at least that's what it seemed like. So I can't remember what we're on. I think it's 12 or something because we don't use a lot anyway. And plus, ours is topped up now by the solar. So it's pretty good. Anyway, what you're saying, Alistair? You need to do how do on your solar, and you did would be a great idea. Oh yeah. Hey, cheers, buddy. Yeah, could do that. I keep saying I'm going to do that. I just got to do that on the other channel as well. I could do it separately on each of the channels because that'd be relevant for my Earth Trifle channel, which is basically gardening and stuff like that. And then I got my rewilding channel. That kind of makes sense on there as well, I suppose. It sort of, well, does it? Not really, does it? The woodworking channel, because that's how I pay my workshop. That makes sense. Yeah. The thing is, you do get wasted energy. If you're not using it, it's just gone, you know, with the system that we've got. But if you bear that up against the cost of the extra, you know, like for instance, if we had batteries, we used to have batteries, but they died and it's just too expensive to change them over, so we decided against it. So if you weigh up the cost of what you're gaining and what you're losing, because solar panels are cheap now. You know, when we got ours, we paid about 50 cents per kilowatt hour. So it was very low. Sorry, per watt, 50 cents per watt, not kilowatt, per watt. So yeah, it made a lot of sense for us. And plus, I have an open space, you know, we've got land, and we can point where we want to. And I've got 2 banks. I've got one pointing pretty midday sun, sort of like, I'd say around 12 to 1 o'clock sun, really. And then we've got the other set, a slight angle, so they get the sun as it's going down. Now, you could motorise them, but for the amount of panels I've got, we motorised them. The cost of the motorisation, you might as well buy more panels because we've got the room to do that. It doesn't make any sense to mess about. So that's what we're probably not doing. More panels, more the merrier. Oh, I need the power, Vertigo, because I have machines. So that's why we need it. And also night times. So, like for instance, if I'm using any of my machines, and say for instance a compressor comes on part way through when I'm using a planer, that's it. That's my 5 kilowatts are gone. I've virtually up the power. So then I need to dip into draw that little bit extra from the grid. So that's basically it. Then other times I don't. You know, and let's say for instance Caroline puts a washing machine on or something. You know, so that, yeah. I think you could balance it and you could probably manage it a lot better if it's just one of you or both of you really in tune with each other, what you're actually doing, what you're planning. But I can't plan when I'm going to use the planer. Oh, when I've cut my bit of wood to length and I need to run it through the planer, it goes through the planer. Simple as that, you know. I can't be waiting around. So environmentally, I still put it like this, we're using a darn sight less electricity than we would be if we didn't have it. And then considering the current state of affairs with what's going on in Russia and the cost of energy and stuff at the moment, I'm quite glad that we have got them, obviously. You know, it makes a lot of sense. Our bill's a lot less than it would be. So yeah, so Elon Musk is annoying people. Surprise, surprise. The EU have held back 200 million in EU funds from Hungary. And that's over his immigration rules and stuff. So yeah, the EU Commission says it will withhold funds for Hungary after Budapest failed to pay a fine for violating asylum rules. And Prime Minister Viktor Orban's nationalist whatever we call government, Fidesz, or whatever it is, has taken a hard line on migration. EU said on Wednesday that it planned to withhold 200 million in funds earmarked for Hungary, and said that Budapest had failed to pay an equivalent fine for violating international asylum rules. So international asylum rules. Deadline to settle the penalty expired on Tuesday. Now, I don't know if you remember, I made a video a while back, just in the car. I just did a little quick video because I was in a bit of shock about this. I couldn't believe it. Who was it now? Just a second. Let me find it. Just having a look. No, not that one. I think it was Greece. Ah, there we go, found it. This is in the BBC, right? So, I'm not saying I like BBC. There we go. That's in the BBC. In case you think I'm lying, because I got that. I got loads of criticism saying you're lying. Greek Coast Guard threw migrants overboard to their deaths. Witnesses say. The Greek Coast Guard had caused the deaths of dozens of migrants in the Mediterranean over a 3-year period, and witnesses say, including 9 who were deliberately thrown into the water. Deliberately thrown into the water. So 9 among more than 40 people alleged to have died as a result of being forced out of the Greek territorial waters or taken back out to sea. Crikey, after reaching the Greek islands and dumped in the sea. Who does that? That's just murder. Apparently using boat hooks and stuff to hold them down. We showed footage of 12 people being loaded into a Greek Coast Guard boat and then abandoned on a dinghy to a former senior Greek Coast Guard officer. When he got up from his chair and with his mic still on, he said it was obviously illegal and an international crime. Now, the Greek government has long been accused of forced returns, pushing people back towards Turkey, where they have crossed from, which is illegal under international law. And this is the first time the BBC has calculated the number of incidents which alleged that the fatalities occurred as a result of the Greek Coast Guard's actions. The 15 incidents were analysed and dated May 2023 and resulted in 43 deaths. The international sources were primarily local media, NGOs, and the Turkish Coast Guard. Verifying such accounts is extremely difficult. Witnesses often disappear. Yeah, probably end up in the rivers and into the sea as well. But in 4 of these cases, we were able to corroborate accounts by speaking with witnesses. Our research, which features in the new BBC documentary Dead Calm Killing in the Med, suggested a clear pattern. In 5 of the incidents, migrants said that they were thrown directly into the sea by the Greek authorities. In 4 of those cases, they explain how they had landed on Greek islands but were hunted down. In several other instances, the migrants said that they had been put onto inflatable rafts without motors, which then deflated or appeared to have been punctured. One of the most chilling accounts was given by a Cameroonian man who says he was hunted by the Greek authorities after landing on the island of Samos in September 2021. Like all the people we interviewed, he said that he was planning to register on Greek soil as an asylum seeker. We had barely docked and the police came from behind, he told us, and there were 2 policemen dressed in black and 3 others in civilian clothes, and they were masked. And you could only see their eyes. And he and 2 others, another from Cameroon and a man from the Ivory Coast, were transferred to a Greek Coast Guard boat, he said, where events took a terrifying turn. They started with the other, the Cameroon, and they threw him in the water. The Ivorian man said, "Save me, I don't want to die." It's terrifying, isn't it? And then eventually only his hand was above the water and his body was below. Slowly his hand slipped under and the water engulfed him. He says his abductors beat him. Punches were raining down on his head, and it was like they were punching like an animal. And then he says that they pushed him into the water without a life jacket, and he was able to swim to shore. But the bodies of the other two, Sidi Keita and Didier Marchal, I can't say that, but sorry, where was it again? Were recovered on the Turkish coastline. The survivors' lawyers are demanding the Greek authorities open a double murder case. Is there one? I haven't looked, to be fair. So it just goes on and on, and it's like, it's just inhumane, isn't it? Absolutely inhumane. There is a situation. I'm a bit naive to say there isn't a situation regarding migration, but if you think it's bad now, can you imagine what's going to happen in a few years' time with the climate as it's going? These places that they're coming from are going to be uninhabitable. Look at Bangladesh, for instance. It's underwater. You get rising sea levels. What's going to happen to all the people in Bangladesh? The only reason it's dry is because the tides. They never reach that far. They go back out again. So it's, I don't know. World's gone absolutely crazy. And instead of actually dealing with the root cause of what's going on, it's just sticky plaster again, isn't it? And it's like, how do we deal with it? That's the other thing. There's wars blooming everywhere. Some of them are pretty much part of the problem. And what's going on in Israel and that as well, and Gaza, and then Ukraine and obviously Russia, and things are escalating, aren't they? They're not getting any less of a problem. It's just getting blooming worse. It's deeply concerning. It really is. But where does it end? Spanners go in the spanner box. The boot level goes on the planer because it's got magnets. Yeah, I don't know. It worries me. It does, and it kind of the inhumanity of it. Because one day the shoe might be on the other foot. We might be the refugees if you consider how we're what's going on with Russia and stuff. Well, what if I don't know. What if a couple of bombs missiles or nuclear missiles were launched against the UK, for instance, or in the EU, what have you? Lots of places are going to become uninhabitable. We'll be the refugees. We'll be the ones in the little boats. It just feels like madness. I don't know. I don't know what we can really do, to be honest. I really don't. We have too much human surplus. Yeah, well, you could compost it. There are too many people. But then again, we haven't got enough. And one thing I was thinking to myself, with all this, with AI, the threat of AI taking jobs, which potentially could happen, we might not need as many people. But on the other hand, we might, if AI doesn't take all the jobs, we're going to need people. We haven't got enough skilled labour at the moment, have we? Or enough people to even train up. They keep saying that they want, to encourage us to make more people. You've got to get jiggy with it. But it's we could shoot ourselves in the foot one way or the other. If we accept everybody and we end up with UBI, how do we afford to pay it? Because we'll have too many inactive people because there won't be any jobs because of artificial intelligence or unintelligence. Take care, Stam. Hope well. Break is nearly over. Take care, my friend. Thanks a lot, my buddy. Yeah. Well, he's been having more. He's been on it the last couple of days. Hopefully, he's got over his spell. But he had several fits last week. 2 to 3 a day. They're only little ones, though. They weren't like his big fits he used to get. They're all little fits. But it's like he just I hate it. Absolutely hate it. You always think it's going to because he's got a heart condition. You always worry it's going to be the last. Wally, if you don't know, Wally's my dog. If it's going to be the last one, so you don't know, do you? He's 14 now, so. Oh right, though we have got too much human surplus. The problem is we haven't got it when we need it, unfortunately. You know, but you've got like third world countries and stuff. They have more children because they lose a load. So it's like overcompensation. If they don't lose them, they end up with too many, or they haven't had enough boys. Because you know what it's like in Africa, you know, some of these countries, they want the boys to work the fields. You know, they need less women and more men as far as they're concerned. Yeah, that is disgusting. I understand. It's just shocking, but it's going on, you know. And that article's in the BBC. They're not going to publish something that's, you know, a deliberate lie, are they? They're going to work on the information based on what they've got. Take care, Vertigo. The Amalek. What is an Amalek? Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, it's got to be crashed. Hello, Mad Monk. Hope you're well, my friend. I just thought I'd go to a random live. You know, it is. You need to do micro grid connections to sell excessive energy to others. Yeah, the only problem is with that is I'd have to, if you talk about grid tie, if I did grid tie, I've got to pay £2,000 to have it the meter installed and the contract, and I can't warrant it because the way we're doing it seems to be working for us. Otherwise, I would be interested, you know, and do a buyback tariff. But otherwise, at the moment, we can't afford to do that anyway. So it's £2,000 you've got to pay out up front just to get the connection. Because they put it's a separate account, you see. You don't just reduce the bill that you've got. What happens is, if you didn't know already, when you do a grid tie, you know, so you connect to the grid and you put electricity in the grid, you have a basic meter recording your electric going into the grid, and then they basically send you a check for that electricity you've produced. You still get your other bill. So your basic one, hopefully what you get from one will pay for the other. The problem with that, I don't know, is it tax-free? So you could end up having to pay income tax on the electricity that you produce and that you're sending back to the grid. So you could be out of pocket. Yeah. Yeah, electric showers, what they meant. Little ones said they're about 9 kilowatt, aren't they, electric showers? We need more chargers in the US. Same here in the UK and here in, actually no, we probably need more here in France because obviously more and more electric cars. But they really are embracing it here. There's a lot of electric cars. Whenever I go to any car parks, there's always cars plugged in to the chargers and stuff. The really annoying thing is, and it's usually Brits. They park in the spaces. They haven't even got an electric car, and they park because it's closer to the bloody door, and they're parked in the electric charger spaces. I thought, crikey! It's like parking in the disabled. They had that the other day as well. And I was at the airport yesterday, picking up the missus. You might have saw my video. Flipping hell! There's just 2 cars I looked at. The first time, I thought, oh, that looks like a culprit. So I go on to the .gov database, so you can check your for tax and stuff on your cars and MOTs. So I go on there. Yeah, the first one I looked at, it was Sawn, right, and also had no MOT. So that person did it deliberately, and that was a little red van. All right, in the back of the little red van, there was tools and a couple of bags of, I think it was Stoke Chem, I think it was. It was like cement powder. It was in the back there. Dust sheets and stuff like that. It was in the back. It was in the back of his little van. It had roof rack on the roof and that. There's no way he's drove that flipping heap all the way from the UK to central France to just work on his own home. He clearly lives here, or it's a vehicle that they keep here and they just visit, or they live here. And in that case, the vehicle, you're not allowed to drive a foreign registered vehicle as your own. No, it's illegal. You've got to get it matriculated. So it wasn't registered to be in France. It didn't have any tax or MOT on it because, end of the day, you have to be legal for the vehicle where the vehicle's registered anyway, even if you weren't a French resident here. You got, I just found the whole thing to be just totally unacceptable because that vehicle's not insured, and that vehicle could potentially hurt somebody, and that person's going to get no recompense, are they? They're just going to get shit on, basically, and it's just wrong. And some people think, oh, what the hell, so what? It's not, no. No, and the days of driving around you like the only person on the road, they're gone, You got other people to think about that you could hurt, and also pedestrians, also people, you could end up maiming and end up being disabled because of your actions. I wouldn't want to live with myself for that, to be fair. I just feels totally wrong. So that's one thing we have done ever since we've been here, is make sure our vehicles are legal. And when we first came over, we had a transit van. That was obviously before Brexit and what have you. And in my transit van, we had it here. We started the process of getting it registered within about 6 months. Didn't know what we were doing, because it's just sort of learning curve at that time. A lot of done like more now, obviously. And went for the process and got it registered. Yes, it was costly. Yes, it was a hassle. Yes, I had to get a CT on it here in France and stuff like that, like French MOT. But once we started the process, it was legal to drive, you see, because we had all the paperwork was all in place. And until we got, and then we could even drive before we had the vehicle registered, because they give you like a certificate to say that you're going through the process. And that's quite simple to do. You've got to make sure the vehicle's obviously legal for the country that you're in. You've got to make sure you've got insurance on it, French insurance. You've got to make sure you've got a CT, French CT, which is basically like an MOT. Make sure the vehicle's roadworthy. And so you've got to you have to do a tax form on it to say all the tax is paid on it. So it's just like a declaration, is all it is. I went up there with from our proof purchase and stuff like that when I bought it. It was an old van. It was a 2000 Transit at the time. It's a while ago. And we brought that over anyway, and it got registered. It cost me about £1,000 time I finished, put new tyres on it and stuff like that for the CT. But we used that vehicle for a lot, for a hell of a lot of stuff to renovate this house. The only downside was, we have to do it anyway. But one of the downsides was we had a UK registered trailer, and as soon as we actually registered the vehicle, and it could no longer legally tow a French registered 3.5 ton. Sorry, UK registered that would be UK registered. Just a UK. There's no registration for trailers in the UK. Just a UK trailer. So we'd have to get a CT on it and all that sort of stuff and sort that paperwork out for it. So we didn't do it in the end. So I sold it. So I got my money back on that, so it was okay. It's a shame, but I could have done with that trailer now. It was a big old Anson's trailer, Dutch trailer. So we could have got the CT there quite easily. Right, what have we got going on here? There we come. Take care, Regan. Didn't see you here, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, it's all gone a bit loopy. Everything's gone a bit loopy. And when you sort of, oh, crikey. Did you hear that? James O'Brien yesterday on, he was absolutely brilliant. I might have to just try and find that for you, because he was absolutely brilliant. James O'Brien follows after Nick Ferrari, and Nick Ferrari on his show had Nigel Farage. He was interviewing Nigel Farage, and oh, my dear wife. It was. I put tools away. Some. I put some of my tools away. See, I did pick her up.
You did, yeah. He ran out of washing, so he just needed me.
Yeah, they probably can't hear you. You've got the microphone on you. Yeah, speak up.
I said he ran out of washing, so he needed me.
Yes, I've run out of socks and t-shirts.
And the bed need changing.
And the bed needs change. It was covered in dog hair because the dog kept jumping on the bed.
Yeah. And there's like masses of peaches, apples, and tomatoes.
So you're going to be busy.
I'm very busy at the moment.
So what about my workshop fairy?
I think
You see the state of this workshop, Caroline?
Oh, I know about it.
Look at that floor. Haven't you done that yet?
No. I've processed all the tomatoes. I'm now sterilising the jars for peaches. I've done all the washing.
You've done all the washing. Have I got socks now?
Yeah.
Oh, crikey.
I need to do some ironing.
Have I got underwear? I got
wear
I don't wear pants.
Anyhow,
I like to swing.
I'm very busy.
You're very big. Go get out of here, woman.
Yeah. I might come see my friend for a cup of tea.
What, Violet? Can you thank her for me? Yeah. Do. Hi, Caroline, says Mad Monk. Hello, hello, the cat. Hope you're well. Wibbly wobbly idiot vision. You can live and drive over here with a UK license as long as. Yes. Yeah, you got here in. I don't know where you are actually, but here in France, what they did, because they got overwhelmed. They did with people trying to apply for new licenses. Myself and my son, we both sent our licenses in to be swapped over. But after Brexit, it was just like, oh my God, they couldn't deal with them all, and the backlog was massive. So both our paperwork got sent back. So we got a bundle of paper. We spent all that time sending to them, filling all the paper done with paper. Then now it's all done online, and so we couldn't do it. And then they made the statement to say you can still drive on a UK licence, but when it needs changing, you must register for a French one. So you exchange it for a French licence. And we have actually done that. And the same with that, I can carry on driving on my licence, even though the card one has run out, as long as I've got this piece of paper. So it's like a declaration thing they send you, a certificate to say that you can. Anyway, so we got that. And also I just had to, my insurance for the camper, they just sent over a request for the new licence. So we haven't got it yet because we've just done the exchange, and that all they wanted was that piece of paper. I also sent through the, what do they call it now? The DVLC. You can make an application online with DVLC online, and they will send you a thing to say that your licence is valid. So you've got to do that all with, So anyway, I sent that over to them as well, and it proves that you've got a valid licence for the time until you die, or however old it is when you're a pensioner. So that's that. So anyway, we have applied for our French licence now. Ideally, we should have done it before Brexit, because that would have been a load easier. We'd have it now. I'll talk find that thing from James O'Brien. Let's see if I can find it. Because that was funny. That was hilarious, in fact. He made this little monologue as his introduction after Nigel Farage has been interviewed. Is this it? No, it's not that one. It might be down the bottom next. This was yesterday. So I must find it, because that was really funny. I was going to make it into a clip, I ain't done it yet. God, that J.D. Vansky, he's in the United States, he seems a bit loopy. Crikey. They do find him, don't they? Alright, should I do a search? It might make more sense, mightn't it? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I got
ahead of the Met of emboldening the race. Thank you, Nick. The time is approaching 10 o'clock, and, well, there's a lot to get through today. For example, have you ever had violent race riots named after you, or indeed been accused by the head of the Met of emboldening the racist thugs responsible? Has your vile and ignorant rhetoric ever helped instigate attempts to burn people alive in their beds? Have you ever cited a self-described misogynist facing rape and people trafficking charges in Romania as a trustworthy news source for events in the UK? Or described yourself as part of a similar phenomenon to him? Have you ever helped a convicted woman beater get elected to the UK Parliament? And have any newly elected MPs spent more time in America getting binned off by Donald Trump than they have in their own constituency? And what would you call someone who answers yes to all those questions? Thank you.
I actually had it on, because I don't always have them on these days, but I had it on yesterday morning because Nigel Farage was on, the crap he was spouting, and then that came on. I was in hysterics. I was just epic. You vote in Kamala, brother? I would, yeah. If I was in the United States, I would beat voting Kamala Harris. I just can't condone the idea of voting for somebody who's clearly a convicted felon. And we knew what he was like from day one. You know, he's recorded, I'll grab a pussy and stuff like that. And he's just been foul all the way long. And that's just not me. He doesn't sit right with me. And no, it's not my cup of tea. I'm no Donald Trump fan. Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, I'm not going to say Kamala Harris is perfect. I'm going to say Biden's perfect because they're not. No one's bloody perfect, are they? After all. But it's no. But I don't have the vote because I don't live in the United States, and I'm not a US citizen. But what happens in the US happens everywhere. Oh, I think we have to be honest about that because it does. I've still got stuff to put away, haven't I? Crikey, what's over here? One angle grinder with sanding disc, with a warm sanding disc, needs to be put away. So yeah, okay, there we go. We're on the roll. Yeah, I don't know. People got it's up to them who they vote for, but I think you need to just look at the history really of the geezer. I think it's enough to base an opinion on, and it's all this hardline kind of like everyone's against us. Doesn't work. It really doesn't. You just end up more the same. And to be fair to Biden, the economy in the US has actually increased. It's only because the current situation is why no one feels any better off. You know, you can blame Putin for that.
Nick, the time is approaching.
I'll stop that. But yeah, it is. I do. I know I live here in France, and what goes on in the UK, it affects me as well. And people say, well, yeah, you're not here anyway. You don't live here anyway. You traitor. They go, traitor. But it affects us. It affects me right there. What goes on in the UK and the relationship between the UK government and France, for instance, or even the EU, affects me and my dear wife and our ability to be able to live an ordinary existence. It just does. And like what goes on in the United States, it affects everywhere. There's no avoiding it. You know, I tell you, what you wouldn't see from people like Donald Trump. Would you see that? You know, embracing people. You wouldn't see that from Donald Trump. No, oh no, where's my spray? Detox. Disinfect me quick. Drink some bleach, maybe. Bright light. He said the most ridiculous of stuff in the past, you know. Or he takes one tiny little case. Maybe one Asian person or two have eaten a cat or a dog. Maybe they have, you know. But to say they're all coming over eating your cats and your dogs, your pets, they're eating your cats, they're eating your dogs, you know, it's just mad. And you see, if you watch some of the video clips of Donald Trump when he was a lot younger, then watch the clips of him now, put them side by side, and just see how he's changed. Now, although he's always been a bit of a misogynistic ass, but he was coherent. You listen to him now, he's not coherent. And his speeches and the way he speaks and the way he just jumps from one thing to the next without breathing in between. It's, he ain't heard of full stops, has he? Oh, I don't know, it feels a bit crazy to me. I don't think anyone can deny that, can they? They really can't. So, where are we? Yeah, there you go. Well, the wrong thing. I don't know why I couldn't see it. Right, so get rid of that. A French archaeologists have dug up a note that was left by an archaeologist over 200 years ago in a little bottle, a message in the bottle. How cool is that? You know? So a team of student volunteers on an archaeological dig in northern France as a surprise communication from the past. Sifting through the remains of a Gaulish village on the cliff tops near Dieppe on Monday, they uncovered an earthenware pot containing a small glass flask, and it was the kind of vial that women used to wear round their necks, containing smelling salts, said the team leader, who heads the archaeological service from the town of EU. Town of EU for the town of EU. Anyway, inside the bottle was a message on paper, rolled up and tied with string. On Tuesday evening, Mr. Blondel opened the paper, which reads, PJ Ferry, a native of Dieppe, a member of various international societies, carried excavations here on January 1825, and he continued his investigations in this vast area known as the Cité des Limes of Caesar's Camp. Pretty cool. Yes, Bear, my Sebastian dog's here. So I need a treat, he says. There he is. What is he like? What are you going to do? Paul? Good boy. High five? All right, that'll do. What? Good boy. You're the crazy dog. You crazy. He's a fruitcake, that one, I'll tell you. He's a loon. Let's call him Donald. Okay, and where are we? There we are. Bank of England. Oh, they've held on to the interest rates to 5%, haven't they? Yet the federal bank in the US has brought the interest rates down. There we go. And the EU, the EU's brought out the new data of the AI regulations, but tech companies are warning against it, so it could hamper a bit the business or the industry from evolving. Tech companies and business leaders, including Meta, Stripes, Patrick Collision, Spotify, SAP, and Ericsson, have issued an open letter warning that Europe is at risk of falling behind in the artificial intelligence era due to what they describe as fragmented regulations. The letter calls for urgent action to harmonise regulations across the EU, stating that Europe could miss out due to inconsistent regulatory frameworks. Now, Europe can't afford to miss out on the widespread benefits from responsible built open AI, or from responsibly built. Yeah, when just by saying responsibly built doesn't mean to say they're going to be responsible. It's just like adding a load of flipping words in. There's something people say, I just bought a cheap this. And it might not have been that cheap. It's still quite a lot of money. We're going to find a cheap that or a cheap that. But at the end of the day, it's all relative. So yeah, it says the EU can't afford not to accelerate economic growth via AI and unlock the progress in scientific research, the letter states. For that, we need to be harmonised, consistent, quick and clear decisions under EU data regulations that enable, but they all got to be signed off by 27 member states. Which means they all need to look at it and understand it. AI training for the benefit of Europeans. Well, is it really the benefit? I don't know. I've got my doubts about AI, I really have. Although I do use it sometimes. Like video descriptions, sometimes that could be quite useful. That's about it, really. But it does a lot more than just that, obviously. Anyway, check the chat. Oh, crikey! Oh, bad look. Oh, but yeah, but she's working class. She was anyway for a little while she's working at the, but yes, McDonald's. Flipping hell. We need a clear definition of what working class, now, actually is, don't we? We haven't really got a clear definition. Everyone's making assumptions about it. Logically, we'd say something like working class because if you're having to go to work to earn a living, But what, say, for instance, to live, to survive. But what if you're just working because you want to? Maybe you've got a shitload of money and you decide you want to carry on working. Maybe it's that. Are you working class? Or was it just a class thing? Is it your heritage, where you're from? I think if you saw Jacob Rees-Mogg working in McDonald's, I don't think you'd ever consider him as being working class, would you? I think it's really complicated. I don't think there's no clear definition. Yeah, that came after Nick Ferrari spent an hour kissing Farage's bottom. I thought that was brilliant, though. Flipping hell. That was epic what James O'Brien did to Farage. Oh yeah, when he ended that. Oh yeah, he got kicked in the head by a horse as well. It went on that clip actually, was it? But he did say at the end, and I got kicked in the head by a horse. Oh dear. It was reference to a caller that basically hook, line and sinkered Nigel Farage. Ginger says, I really like Tim Waltz. He just seems like a decent geezer, doesn't he? And the fact that Donald Trump disparaged his disabled son just tells me everything I need to know about Donald Trump, that he is not a decent person. It's like he disparaged that disabled journalist, didn't he? Which was totally despicable thing to do, and that's who Donald Trump is. And people lap it up. His following, they think it's fantastic. They think he's brilliant. And when you consider how far he is in the polls at the moment, I think they're about neck on neck at the moment, aren't they? The fact he's anywhere in the polls is just, what does it say about people? The kind of people that will vote for somebody like Donald Trump. Yeah, there's loads of bits of pallet on the floor because I was making pallet projects. I wonder what I can make out of all these little blocks. Something to keep me occupied, I don't know. Some little building blocks. A little bit to go on the fire. I'll keep that one. I've decided I'm going to make another cabinet out of old pallets. I made that wall unit out of old pallets and it turned out really well. I was really quite happy how that looks in place. Currently we've got a basin cabinet underneath and it's one of them chipboardy things and it's crap. So I'm going to rip that out. I was put it in a hurry basically because it's cheap. And it came with a basin and a tap and stuff. We used it though. It's really kind of wish you didn't. Because you think to yourself, you just need to get rid of it. I've got crap everywhere. There's crap everywhere. There's my water. Hello, Aaron. Yo, folks. Golden boy, bonjour, monsieur. I hope you like France. You're one of us now. Yes, I do like it here in France. We're very fortunate. We've got a lovely home. It's took a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. Just looking after the place, let alone restoring it. Don't earn a lot of money. You know how it is. Sometimes, because Brexit really wrecked our business big time. I'm trying to sort of recover from it now. Took me a while to accept it, really. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like such a shock to the system. You worked hard for something and built it all up, what have you, and it's doing really well. And then Brexit comes along and literally destroys your ability to earn money from it. And it just was like a rug being pulled out from underneath me. Then I started obviously doing this channel, AllShorts channel, which is a bit of a roller coaster ride in its own right. But it's it was something being ripped away, So you make your plans, don't you, your investments and stuff, obviously doing this property and that, and then all of a sudden your income source becomes much diminished and you think to yourself, crikey, what do we do now? I think I've got over that now, to be honest. I kind of accepted that we probably aren't going to be returning to the EU, or there's no route back now for a good long while. So I can't see that happening. So that's just one of them things. I'll just chop the bits off the end of that. So I just, so I've got to find solutions. I think what I'm going to do is obviously carry on with these channels, because they do earn a few pennies, but not much. So I think what I'll do is I'll end up doing Etsy or something. I do Etsy already, so I'm not doing more of that. Start focusing on that and my website, which I sell wooden bits and pieces on. And now I've got my lasers as well, so I can earn some money from the lasers. So I just need to get my acting gear ready and get focused. Because at the end of the day, like most people, we need pennies. That we do. Put that jig up there. Blimey, everything's a mess. I hate this mess. I just hate it. Normally, like you say, everything has a place. Everything. But it's not in its place. Nothing's in its place. And it's very annoying. Like, my biscuits, not digestives, no. So, yeah. I did a video the other day about this hazelnut spread stuff. And it's been banned in the EU, because it shouldn't have been here anyway. Because literally, the country, this particular stuff by a company called Sabon, it was Algerian, and it's banned because quality control and stuff like that. They don't have the same rules as what they have in the EU. So the EU, as far as they're concerned, there's a risk here that this product isn't of a good enough standard, you know. So the video's done quite well actually, but it's literally just hazelnut spread. And it's people go mad for it, and apparently it's really cheap in Algeria. But the price of this jar has kind of gone up to almost 30 odd euros a jar for basically what is like not peanut butter but hazelnut butter. You know, I think some people thought I was talking about peanut butter, but I wasn't. I was talking about hazelnut. Same thing like peanut butter but for hazelnuts. Oh, crikey! Whoa, just sharpen that while I'm thinking about it. I'll do, use that one. Or shall I use that one? Use that. Just going to sharpen this chisel, because it's got in a bit of a state. And it's got a lot of, it's not a ward steel one, so I quite like using it. And I like my tools to be ready. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, rag. I need a rag. Yep, so there you go, that one there. And I'll use this. Oh, where's the spray? Just clean the bag off first. Yeah, anyway, this peanut buttery stuff is, I used the wrong blooming oil. I'm an idiot. I've used engine oil instead of thin oil. There you go. That's better. Oh, that's better. I haven't seen this before. I had looked at the shop actually after making the video. So I went to the supermarket and I was having a look and I couldn't see any hazelnut spreads. We had the Nutella, which is basically like a chocolate spread, isn't it? With hazelnuts in it. I don't like anything like that anyway. It's all too sickly for me. Some oil into the handle as well. I think we're coming up to winter now, aren't we? So I've got to make sure all my tools are in reasonable order. Otherwise I'll start pitting and stuff. And I don't want that. So I'm just flattening the back. You can't get a sharp edge on a chisel unless you flatten the back. It's like, you know, setting out the foundations of sharpening your tool, and it's the same with, you know, business really, isn't it? And joining the EU, you've got to set your foundations first. Unfortunately, our foundations in the UK for joining the European Union have somewhat been destroyed. And one of my worries is that the longer we wait to to try and rejoin the European Union, the more time that passes, the less likely it's going to happen. And the reason why I'm saying that is our youngsters of today who aren't at an age, let's say for instance, I don't know, kids that are 5, 6, 10 years old even, kids who have never experienced being in the European Union, the freedom to travel and aspirations of being able to live and work and love and all that in 27 other member states. If they've never experienced or don't actually understand it, they're never going to want it, are they? And I just think the longer we wait, or the longer time passes by, the less likely it's ever going to happen. As far as getting support from the youngsters. There again, saying that, there's also those who will also probably always want to, join the European Union. Because it's not really rejoining, is it? After all, and they'll still probably want to. And the more who promoted leaving, the more of them will probably have passed away, being a lot of the older generations. So maybe, in the future that, maybe it could still happen. But, we need the youngsters on side. And there's a lot of legwork to do. If we ever to, rejoin, there's a lot to be done. The UK is not it's not healthy. It's not healthy enough to meet the criteria. Whether it be the Copenhagen criteria, which is, like for instance, I don't know, argument's sake, the national debt, which ours is way too high, and other areas as well. And obviously the politics and diplomacy in the UK has been somewhat broken. Can Labour do something about that? Maybe getting rid of the House of Lords would be a start, or at least cut it right back, which they have already started, regarding getting rid of the hereditary peers from the House of Lords. That clearly would be a very sensible move. But it's just time will tell, won't it? I don't think I will be alive if we ever do decide to rejoin. I don't think it's like 10 years. I think it's going to be done so longer than that. And then you're going to have to go through the ascension period and all that, which could take another 10 years. So it's going to be a long while. And don't forget, we've already currently, when we haven't actually applied the Trade and Cooperation Agreement in full yet anyway in the UK. The EU also hasn't applied all the plans regarding post-Brexit. Not necessarily because of Brexit, but it is partially. Like for instance, the ETIS and the EES system. The ETIS is probably going to be on time. It's more straightforward. But the EES, the biometrics, when that comes in to play, it's been delayed again, you see, until next year. France isn't ready, loads of countries aren't ready. You think it's a mammoth task where you've got to get all these systems that are biometric, got to do all these tests and stuff, and they're all got to be in real time and be able to communicate with each other all the way around the European Union. That is one hell of a job, isn't it? And then they've obviously got to have all these bournes in place to do all these with the scanners in and the fingerprint stuff and the full frontal and you know what I mean, the rectal examination, all that sort of stuff as a third country. And this also is going to apply not just to British citizens, it's going to apply to US citizens and that as well. Anyone entering the European Union once this comes into play. And as for the hazelnut spread, in the day, it is a country outside of the European Union. It's a third country, just like the UK. So what affects their imports, exports with the European Union is the same sort of stuff that's going to apply to British citizens, companies. So clearly, it's going to be, how to put it, a little bit problematic, to say the least. Now, it was my little guide now. I got the worst of crap. I got glue all over it for some reason. It's covered in glue. Crikey, what about all these flipping pages and what here? I listened to one person, this was like a military advisor, and he says, I think it's very unlikely that plastic explosives were placed inside these pages that killed all those people, and Hezbollah and whatever, in Lebanon. And I thought, so, okay, then he went on about a signal to trigger the batteries to explode. Lithium batteries don't explode. They don't. They flare. They basically catch a light, and they're really intense, almost magnesium-like fire. So they're quite aggressive, quite violent, but they don't explode as such. That's a fallacy. No, that's a bit bizarre. So the fact that these things are actually blowing up in people's pockets, and sometimes when they beep once, they put it there, and then it would blow up in their heads. Yeah. But there's a lot of like leg injuries and stuff like that. People had them in their pockets, and a lot of people got killed as well. But apparently it's through the supply chain and the Hungarian company. But they're saying they didn't actually make the pages; somebody else made it. So it's sort of like, a lot of blame going on there. It weren't me; it was them over there. But they probably don't even know. We don't even know if, for instance, that during the supply chain they got diverted and then the changes were made. But it looks like some sort of Semtex or plastics explosive was placed inside these devices. But the thing is, this to me, it feels a bit like a war crime again, because it's indiscriminate. They don't know who it is, who's going to end up with the pages. Now, although they argue that they're used for these devices are used by the terrorists and what have you, ways of communicating. But you can't guarantee that, can you? It does feel like a war crime. So, there again, quite comfortable with this, aren't they? War crimes regarding Israel. Well, not Israel. I keep saying Israel. It's not fair. It's not because of Israel. It's because of Netanyahu, the Prime Minister or President, whatever he is, of Israel. He's just politically, he's just trying to save his own neck, and But it's going to change the face of war, isn't it? It does make you wonder if, for instance, I don't know, I'm going to say we're at war with someone like China who makes like these devices, and they were thinking ahead. And they sort of it's a bit like one of these movies and that, where you got like some kind of arch nemesis and that, who's designed all these things and he wants to eradicate. Okay, what film was that on? That's a film actually. Oh crikey! Oh, it's like a Bond type thing, but with a kid in it. Anyway, it's what to eradicate the human race to save the planet. It's a bit dangerous when we have so much stuff coming from one place, such as China. I like to use guides whenever I can, because then you don't get this accumulative error over a period of time when you're sharpening your tools. People say, why are you doing that for? Just do it by hand. I can do it by hand, but you'll always round off your cutting edge eventually, because your body hasn't got that mechanical skill to go straight. You have to rock from the elbows, you see. So using a guide just takes out that error. I made the guide, so it's not like I bought a sharpening guide, is it? Get in there, you bugger. Tell you what, let's put it in the vice. So, so a load of these devices, and then the following day, a load of walkie-talkies basically went off as well. Although it is frightening, and obviously it's obviously horrendous, especially if innocents get killed. But for crikey, it is very much, it's James Bond shit, isn't it? Where's Koo in all this? Where is he? Did he develop them? Just makes you, I don't know, it makes me wonder where all these wars are going to be heading, you know. And then with all the drones and stuff like that, wars are not going to be fought like they have been in the past. We won't be having boots on the ground. We'll just have people behind screens, or like, you know, I don't know, Nintendos. Oh, there was a movie. I can't remember what it is. There was that movie where towns and cities they basically they warred through like games, you know, not computer games, but games as in Tron. I don't know. That wasn't Tron. Let's do it. Yeah, Sheila Fogarty's on at the moment on the radio, and she's basically saying that Hezbollah and what have you, all their interest is destruction. They're not interested in people getting on with their lives and being able to just live, are they, you know? It's tricky. I'm pretty much there. Yeah, that's good. Do you know what? I still got to clean this workshop, and I haven't really done it yet, have I? Crikey, I better do that in a minute. Right, a little bit of on the old diamond. This one here is it's a lot finer, it's 3000 grit. So I'm just going to do this bit by hand, just gently. Just to clean up that last little bit. Make sure that there's no burrs as well. That's good. That'll do. That'll do. Just want to strop me end. Woohoo! Yes, I do. Right. If someone did that to a new iPhone destined for the US, a lot of people would be hurt. Well, that's a good point, you know. And considering that iPhones are made in China now, so I wouldn't rule it out. I don't have iPhones. I don't like iPhone. Too controlling. I don't like anything that's too controlling. And also, they were the first who started getting rid of the headphone jack. Yeah, no, that's it. I hate it. I get headphone jack. No one thought about people who do vlogging and stuff with mobile phones. Get rid of that the microphone jack and headphone jack. It's a flipping nightmare. I know you can get adapters, but that wrecks the sound. I've got an adapter on this at the moment. I've got 1, 2, 3. It's 4 joints, 4 connections to actually just for me to get this microphone into there. Then you got the signal from the microphone to the receiver as well. So it's these all things for processing sound, audio, and whatever. It just ruins it. Okay, I think that's good. If you wonder what I was doing when I'm doing that, what I'm doing is I'm literally folding the wire edge over one way and then fold it back the other way. And in effect, you metal fatigue. Because whenever you sharpen, you create a bit of a wire edge where you're bending the metal backwards and forwards. So what you do is you just remove that, you literally just palm it. That's what I do anyway. Or you can use a piece of leather, so you can just literally stop it on a piece of leather. Just keep doing that. Or you can actually just do this on the edge of a piece of wood like that, or edgeways, and that'll peel it off. But that is, I don't know if it's that sharp enough, but yeah, that's sharp. I shaved myself, I did, shaved it. Can you see the white bit? You've got to have sharp tools. A dangerous tool is a blunt tool, is what my father used to say. He ain't wrong. No. They can say that when I cut myself, it's usually with a sharp tool. And I do cut myself a bit regular these days, and I don't know why. I dropped a chisel on my foot the other day. That was not a very good idea. I was wearing Crocs, went straight through it. I started bleeding. I had a gusher, I did. Do you know what? I've got to make some videos for this channel. So what should I make a video about today? for this channel? For the AllShorts channel? Any ideas? I don't know yet. Oh, there we go. Need to record a video. That's right. Back on, there you go. Oh, I hate tidying up. There's just so much to do. Got to do it though, because I've got so much crap on the floor. It's dangerous. More wooden blocks. If you use, you've got things out on the floor and you stand on them, and you've got a chisel in your hands, you can imagine what could happen. You can end up damaging yourself. Like drop a chisel on your foot. That was a gusher, that was. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit worrying, isn't it? You think what could actually happen if, a much larger country or a much larger scale, and these devices was triggered to literally go off all at the same time like that. Flipping hell. That's frightening. Right, and go over there. Hello, Billy Kershaw. Caroline in conversation. Yeah, I need a new microphone. This is a part of a set. Let me show you. But I've had a nightmare with the company to try and get them to replace them. They literally want you to jump through hoops. Just out of the flipping guarantee, that microphone there with the two dots on the top starts fading. These ones are by Hollyland. They're really good microphones. They're usually very good audio quality. You've got your little charging base like those, and you've got all your little devices they plug in there and they charge from the base. And they give you excellent duration. Really good, you know, apart from that one broke. Just after the flipping guarantee ran out. And all that you'd think, because I made videos about this as well, you see, you'd think they'd be a bit more obliging so they don't get no bad rep. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep slashing, I'm going to give them a hard time about it. So I'm not impressed. So customer service is useless, basically. And they make it difficult. Yeah, and the bad thing about it is, it's not an expensive thing. It probably costs them pennies to send me another one of these. Just replace the one that's broken, you know? And they haven't done it. I think it's stupid. I also go on when people do like a review. So there's a new model come out recently, a little round one, and it's I've been leaving sort of snotty comments. I've been trolling them. I have been trolling them. Yeah, Karen, we will be doing some videos together, and also we're going to be doing some processing together. As in, oh god, we've got something else we've got to do as well. Probably could do it on my other channel though. I got something delivered, something Lego. All right, I was going to do a live stream. I'll do it on this channel, I think. Actually, live stream where me and Karen will put Lego together while we're talking about the stuff. Probably going to do it in the kitchen or something. I don't know. For argument's sake. I've had it for about a year, but it's been in England, and Caroline's only just brought it back. I keep asking, and I keep forgetting. My Lego from YouTube. YouTube sent me Lego. Oh dear, how long have I been live for? Now, oh god, now in 38 minutes, blimey. Where are we? So where are we? Nope, so UK's post-Brexit checks on fruit and vegetables are delayed for a third time. So as the UK was going to impose checks on vegetables coming into the United Kingdom, obviously they haven't got the facilities to do it, and it's caused massive delays. And the fruit and veg is already rotting before, it starts rotting before it even gets in your cupboards or in your fridges or whatever. Or your veggie basket. So planned post-Brexit checks on fruit and vegetables brought into Britain from the EU have been delayed for a third time amid concerns from suppliers that it would lead to higher prices. Well, it's going to do that whatever time you do it for shoppers, which is also a bad time in the winter. Now, the government said plans to introduce checks on fruit and vegetables such as celery and tomatoes. Flip it out, don't buy tomatoes in the UK in the winter. Bloody hell, don't do it. They're like tough old skins, are horrible. Until you start growing your own tomatoes, you're not going to know what a tomato is supposed to taste like. It's just, no. Flipping out, our tomatoes are gorgeous. And we do a variety. We do Roma, Conu, Pierre, Crime Noir, what else? Normand, Super Steak. I love the fleshy tomatoes. And obviously 3 cherry tomatoes. Didn't do so many cherry tomatoes this year. Because they're not very easy to conserve. So yeah, and they taste awesome. And the skins aren't all thick and horrible. They're just nice. Not always the prettiest. In fact, Carol just brought a cucumber in that looked like a corkscrew. Betty says, count me in if you're going to be playing with Lego. So I might order a microphone first. So Caroline's got a microphone. I saw these weren't expensive, but they weren't cheap. But there's some reasonably priced ones I noticed on Amazon, which I get in a couple of days. I'm just waiting for my money to go in the bank. So I might order those. We'll sort of see. But they were quite reasonably priced. Well, I'm not after the audio being amazing. I want it to be clear. I just want it to be loud enough. So the kind of stuff I do don't warrant the audio to be absolutely mad. I've got good microphones for other stuff, so it's not going to be used all the time. Hello, Karen. Or Chiron. Our tomatoes are mostly tasteless, and Sana tomatoes, and they are rubbish, yes. A lot of them are coming from Morocco. Actually, got a lot coming from the Netherlands and that as well. At the moment, you should be having quite a few in the UK, greenhouse growers, even that there's still some about. A lot of them are gone. So many greenhouse growers in the UK are giving up now, unfortunately, especially peppers. You need a fairly long season with peppers, you see. So you've got a lot of period of time when the greenhouses aren't earning anything. Whereas tomatoes, for instance, they start cropping much earlier. You know, we've got some lovely big peppers. You know, rotten great peppers, and they're red. They're turning red. Some are green still. I've been eating them. Caroline's out the way, you see. Yeah, it's a bit sad, isn't it, though? I think we've got used to the idea of eating junk. Now, Caroline went in the UK visit the kids and stuff for 2 weeks. She's been gone. And she's surprised how the amount of takeaway they're buying. Not some of her kids are quite good, but they flipping Uber Eats, whatever it's called. Is it Uber Eats? Something like that, anyway. Anyway, they order their food online that comes delivered to the door. They pick up on the whales and do it. They eat too much processed flipping food. And some of it's expensive, isn't it? You know? Just a load of crap. It's not great. Oh, I'm looking in the chat. The fruits of Brexit will appear in 70 years. And the benefits or the fruits of Brexit, we'll get that in 70 years. Well, didn't Jacob Rees-Mogg say 50 years after the fact? Benefits of Brexit. Yeah, he said so he said that 50 years, but actually before Brexit, he says the day after we leave the European Union, everything's going to be cheaper. No, it's not cheaper and it's not better. And you haven't got your 2,000 watt vacuum cleaners either, because there's no purpose for them. What's the point of a 2,000 watt vacuum cleaner when it's going to suck the carpet off the flipping floor and you can't move it? What's the point of that? Idiots. They're just idiots. You know? I'm in a workshop and we don't have 2,000 watt vacuum cleaners. There's no point. No point at all. Well, Big Shop Vac isn't even the one that's in the workshop next door goes through a cyclone. And that hasn't even got a 2,000 watt. I think it's about 1,200 watt. It's a dual. It's got a dual motor one on it. Was that by pneumatic? Our tomatoes are mostly tasteless, and tomatoes. Yeah, I just already know. My Caroline growing some Tigrella tomatoes, and they're superb. We've got some green zebra. The only problem with the old tomatoes, funny coloured ones, is it's not always that easy to tell if they're ripe or not. You can't do it by looking at them. You have to touch them. They give them a little squeeze. Grab them by and you get a little squeeze. That's what you got to do. and then you can tell whether they're ripe or not. Like we've got some tomatoes that are more blush, not red, they're more of a blush colour, sort of like a pinky colour when they're ripe, not bright red. So those sort of tomatoes and the green ones and what have you, you've got to be a bit more cautious. The Crème Noir, which is sort of they call them black, but tomato, but they're not. They're more of a dark red. But they're really nice, you know, really fleshy, gorgeous tomatoes, beautiful flavour. And this time of year, when we've got all these tomatoes, I'm quite happy just with a tomato sandwich, a little bit of salt on it. It's really nice. Grab your plums, buy the plums. We've got plums. We've got an abundance of blooming peaches. Flipping peaches. Caroline's been pulling them off the tree. Let me show you. I'll take you outside. Let's have a look. Do. Right. Fort Knox. Oh, boy, bright light. Now, there's still a whole load on the tree still. Just that one tree, little tree there, right? Peaches. So, yeah. I don't know how many do you reckon there's there? That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, say that's 10. Oh God, that means there's about 100 there. It's probably about 300 peaches there. There's a few anyway. That's a few. And there's still a whole load more on the tree. Well, we'll just wait until they're ready. So there's loads on the tree still. Oh, some overgrown courgettes. We generally process them for the dogs. The dogs love courgette. We roast them for the dogs. But we might actually keep some of them back actually for ratatouilles. So we've got the 2 polytunnels on the go. We've got the one over there and this one here. And we've got some in the garden as well. I've got these beans here, and I've got a second lot on the go over behind them as well. And then we've got other veggies in that as well. So a bit of chase your tail this time of year because things start getting humid too. You've got risk of blight. Excuse me. I don't remember one of our videos to do on a rewilding project around the well over there. See how well the trees are doing over there around that well. They're really happy. So I'm quite pleased with that. And we're going to start planting again soon for the trees. So we've got a few signs I'm redoing, which are in the little trolley over there. And I've got a whole load more on my list to do. And we've got another arbour to put in, which is somebody nice kindly donated for in remembrance of people who suffered in Gaza. So it's quite nice. So, what have I missed? What have I missed? What kind of soil do we have? We have acid, +1 acid is our soil. It's not very good for brassicas. It tends to, well, they just bolt. It's not very good soil for brassicas. It's good for other, for other crops. Good for tomatoes and stuff like that, but not for. Yeah, so our soil's good. It's loamy soil. A little bit of clay in it. But it isn't very. It's not neutral. It's +1. What happened to the cherries? There's no cherries in England's store. We got no cherries this year, so that might be what happened to the cherries. We have 3 cherry trees here, and two of them are quite young, but one isn't. We normally get cherries on one of our trees. Actually, no, we've got the 2 big ones. We've got the wild cherry trees. We've got 2 big wild cherry trees, whopping great trees. And we didn't get any cherries on there this year. We've got male and females. There's no cherries on that tree, those 2 trees. And we didn't get any on our other trees either. So we've got 5 trees we didn't get the cherries on. The other thing that's different this year, we normally have a hell of a problem with hornets, where we have to trap them because they're a nightmare. They devastate the apple trees. And any other fruit trees as well. They're just horrendous. So, but this year we had none. Also wasps, hardly any wasps as well. We normally get a lot more problems with wasps. Usually I'm having to put traps out and stuff like that, but I haven't actually done any of that this year at all, which is unusual. The other thing we haven't done this year, now every year because of where we live, the dogs get fleas. All right, so we treat them, and we use Bravecto. So we treat our dogs. Usually we'll start treating them in May. We ain't done it at all this year. There's no fleas. We have had no problems with fleas at all this year. Why? Is it due to the amount of rain that we had, the humidity? We had a huge amount of humidity earlier this year. Did that change things? Something's happened. What? I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. No cherries. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful day today. We've got a few days off, and then we've got rain, so don't get too excited. There's a shift in the weather now. So although it was cold last week, and earlier this week it's cold, and now we've got a few days of sweltering heat, and then apparently we've got storms coming. So yeah, not looking forward to that because I need to do the roofs. Offshore tax haven, what here? No, I don't think so. Brexit was clearly a movement to benefit the rich tax dodgers. Of course, yes, because they didn't want to make their registration, so they didn't want to be found out. And then we got the Pandora Papers anyway. All this stuff was just brushed under the carpet. Like the Russia report and what have you, brushed under the carpet. Keir Starmer's doing exactly the same, you know. They might be saying that, they're interfering with electoral results and stuff like that. But doing nothing about it. The United States making announcements about it. They'll probably do something about it. We've got DJI. If you know DJI, you know the drone company, the Chinese drone company. It's the most popular drones in the world, are made by DJI, and they're excellent. I've had several DJI drones. I had the Phantom 3 Professional, what have you. Great drone, big old white things, you know. Stereotypical sort of like drones. And they, in the United States, they're looking at banning them. It's actually been passed, but it's got to go through Congress or something for the final stages. But it looks like DJI will be banned for sale in import. If they're already in the country, it's not a problem. But they're banning the import of DJI drones in the United States. It isn't through yet, but that's just what's happening. The reason is their connections with the state, again, just like Huawei and all that. Huawei! So, yeah. I think it is a concern. I mean, we can't obviously have this stuff in government institutions for a start. It's too risky. You look at what's just happened with Israel and all those mobile devices, all those pagers and the walkie-talkies. It just proves what they can do as well, you know. They could actually put all that stuff into the technology of these phones and you wouldn't have any bloody clue what's going on. And they could be just collecting our data. Not just data, I mean phone conversations and other stuff, communications and stuff. And obviously, you know, the government institution is one way to actually take you from disrupt you from the inside. Yeah, we've had plenty of bees. For what I've seen, we had plenty of bees. I had loads of bees on my willow trees earlier this year. But no wasps. Very little. Hardly any hornets. We usually get a lot more. So, if that's a benefit of climate change, I'm quite happy with that one. Bees, almost zero wasps in the northwest England. But I am in. Okay, let's start the poppy. Sorry. I've had plenty of bees this year, but almost zero wasps in northwest England. But I'm in a farming area and plenty of wildflowers and older domestic population. So, I see. So loads of gardens. Yes, we do need gardens. See, we don't seem to want people want gardens anymore. They don't want to cut the grass. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. Because lives are too busy now. Ain't no time for anything. It's like my daughter. She hasn't got time to even look after a garden properly. Look after 4 kids and that, you know. It's just everything's too hard, you know. So Scotland usually gets overrun by seagulls, and there's hardly been any. And the ones that have made it seem more sickly. Really? That's all that processed food. That's what it is. It's all the food you're chucking out. It's too old. It's all come from Mexico and places as well. Right. Cherries. All right, anyway. I'm going to call that it now because I really need to get this sorted out and tidied out because I'm too busy talking and not actually doing anything. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, and cheers Mad Monk and whoever else is here regarding the spanners. Much appreciated. So I might go live again later, maybe on the other channel as well, my Wally Bois channel. You check out our other channels if you want. We've got our Woodworking channel, which is Wally Bois Woodworking. The links are usually in the description of the videos. We've also got a rewilding channel because we're going to start planting trees out there again now because the weather's changing. We can get on with that, so we'll be doing a little more videos on that regarding the signs and that as well. If you didn't know, we're doing rewilding, so if you want a tree, we'll put a tree in the ground on your behalf and have a sign go with the tree. So basically, it's a GoFundMe link down below if you make a small donation, and we'll do that for you. And we'll put signs with it could be a memory of a loved one or whatever. But also making bat boxes, bird boxes, and other animal habitats as well. So anyway, it's time for me to go. So say toodaloo, you know. So toodaloo. Oh, buttons. Here we go.